Hi, this is Trinesha, and today I wanted to talk about sight. So, what made me want to talk about sight is I was reading the Bible, and the word that stood out to me was sight. I was reading John 9, and in John 9, it talks about the man who was blind from birth. And as I'm reading the Bible, I start feeling this. I don't know how to describe it. And I don't know if it's weird to say this because I don't want people to just feel like, well, I heard or, God said to me, but I have a personal relationship with God and we can all have a personal relationship with God and speak to Him whenever we need to. He wants us to build that relationship with Him. And so as I'm reading the Bible and I'm reading about this man who was blind from birth and Jesus comes to him and he spits into the mud and he makes mud and rubs it on the man's eyes. And all of it, he tells him to go down to, I know I'm going to get this wrong, so I'm going to have to pull it up. To Siloam, and that word means sent. So he sent him to the place that's called sent. But but he sent him to Siloam, and as the man went there to wash the mud off of his eyes, he could see. And as I'm reading this story and people are questioning what happened to him, isn't he the man? And people say, no, he must just look like the man. It must be someone who looks like him. It's probably not him. And other people are saying, no, that's him. How is it that he can see? Who could perform such a miracle but God? And they know that only God could perform a miracle like that. Only God could change things to that extremity, that to that extent. And so it's just they go to the parents and they're asking because the miracle was performed on the Sabbath day, and then they didn't really, it was against the law or it was against the rules, I guess, religiously to perform any kind of miracle on the Sabbath day. That was the only day that you couldn't do something like that. And so as they ask the parents what happened to him, they say, we don't know, ask him, he's of age. But the point is, when I'm reading this story and I'm starting to hear about the sight, it really makes me think about when I read the phrase, I was blind, but now I see. I really felt in my spirit like that's how we are before we rededicate our lives to God. That's how we are before we give our life to God. That's how we are when we're moving through life. Like that's exactly how I felt before I found God. I felt like I had vision, but I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see clearly. Like I knew what society was doing. I knew what the world was doing. I knew what people around me were doing. I could do normal things. I could walk, talk, speak, everything that I needed to be doing, but I wasn't doing the things that God wanted me to do. I wasn't walking by faith. I wasn't following God's lead. I was doing what I wanted to do, and I thought that I knew everything. I really did. I really felt like I just knew. Like nobody could tell me anything because I know, already. And once I rededicated my life to God and I started seeking God's presence and seeking His faith and facing then being faithful and all of those other things, I started to feel like something that was clouding my judgment, something that was blinding me was now removed and I could actually see clearly. I felt like all of the things that I thought were important, the things that I thought I actually needed in life, the people who I wanted to surround myself with, the things that I wanted to do to fill this void in my soul or within me was something that only God could fill, and it was something I kept seeking and trying to find something else to fill it because I felt like maybe if I do this thing it'll make me feel like blah. Maybe if I'm around this person it'll make me feel like blah. Maybe if I'm with this person in a relationship, it'll make me feel like blah. If I work this job, it'll make me feel, all of these things, all of these falsities that that were not realistic. They weren't something that could ever be sustained. They were all temporary fixes. They were all temporary satisfaction of something that would never fill a void, not something that would never fill me completely. It always left me empty, or it left me feeling more lonely, or it left me feeling more like I needed something else. Like it just was never enough. And it wasn't enough because that was only a space that God could fill. When you don't have God in your life, It really does make you feel like you're missing something. It makes you feel like no matter what you do, the day just sucks. Or no matter what you do, it just seems like, you can never find the thing that it is that will help you or the thing that will fulfill you. And it's because only God can fulfill you. While you're sitting there trying to search for something, search for God. I know it sounds cliche and you're probably just like, really, that's what you're going to say? But yes, like, seriously, try God. You keep trying all of these other things that are not working. You keep trying all of these other things that aren't satisfying you. They're giving you temporary satisfaction and leaving you feeling empty. They're leaving you feeling lonely. They're leaving you feeling desperate or like you need something else. But God is the only thing that will ever be able to fill you up. He's the only thing that's ever going to make you feel like you're good enough. You don't need to seek approval from any other guy, person, woman, place, thing, whatever it is. Like you might think, okay, I'm driving this nice car. You go and purchase your dream car. You purchase this car that's just so fascinating, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna feel so amazing. You might feel amazing for 48 hours. You might even feel amazing for what is it, the 60 days or something before you have to start making payments if that's what your thing is. And once you get that payment or once you realize that you're in this car, it's not going to do the things that you think it's going to do. You thinking about it being something that could fill you is not real. That's a fantasy. That's fake. That car, that house, that person, that job, whatever it is that you think is going to fill a God-sized hole never will. It never ever will. And I know I'm saying that and you're like, okay, well, it seems a little harsh that you're saying it like that, but there's no other way to say it but straight up. Because if I'm not being 100% with you, like if I'm not being 100, I don't know if anybody ever says that anymore. I don't even use that word. I don't know where that came from. But but if I'm being 100 with you, if I'm being, I guess people still say that, and I'm being realistic, I'm being transparent, I'm telling you like it is, then I'm telling you that none of those things are going to fulfill you. That position may make you feel temporarily satisfied. You may feel like you're a big dog. You may feel like you got it going on because you got a certain title under your name or whatever else, and it just makes you feel like you're so confident because of a job. But if that job is taken away from you, your confidence is going to desolate with it. It's going to disappear with it because that's false confidence. That's not real. You have to have something real like God. You have to have something sustainable that will be able to go the distance, something that you will be able to continue to do throughout your entire life. That one position may not always be there. Even if it is there, you have to know who you are without that position. You can't allow a title, a person, a car, a house, whatever it is to make you who you are. God created you who you are. And if you know God, that never changes. You don't have to worry about God saying, oh no, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out. You don't have to worry about God saying, oh, well, you would be good if you change all of these things about you. You know, you almost qualify for this, but you need a couple more credentials in order to get qualified for this position. God isn't going to say something like that. God already created you worthy just as you are. The only thing he wants for you is for you to be obedient and serving in your purpose, to be intentional about your life and seeking his face. That's what he wants from you. He doesn't expect you to be someone totally different than the person he created you to be. You never have to change into somebody else to be pleasing to God. And that does not mean that you don't become better every day. That doesn't mean that you constantly grow and evolve and learn from life experiences, from trials and tribulations and storms and all of the things that you are intended to go through to build you, to make you into a stronger person, a better person. But better doesn't mean different. It doesn't mean that it changes who you are at your core. It doesn't mean it changes who God created you and intended you to be from the beginning when you were first formed in your mother's womb. Everything that you are is what God intended you to be. And I know it's hard sometimes being yourself when you meet certain people and they want you to change something about yourself to make you into somebody else. But you are exactly who God created you to be. You don't have to pretend to be like this person or that person, or categorize yourself under some sort of team of people, or like, you are not what you, I don't want to say that word because I don't want to get about a bunch of slack for saying it, but you don't need a specific term to determine who God created you to be. That name, that whatever it is that you're calling yourself, does not make you who you are. You are who you are by your characteristic traits, by your character, your true core values. Are you a kind person, a loving person? Are you the type of person who helps people? Are you serving? Are you being in your purpose? Are you intentional about your life? Are you seeking God? That's what makes you who you are, not a word. Just because I'm black doesn't mean that that's who I am. Black is just a description of something that is a part of me. It's not all of me. So, although, I would never deny that, I'm black and everything, I still know that God is first. I'm part of the human race first before anything else. And yes, I'm proud of being black. I don't know if that's going to like ding the video or anything like that, but I just think it's important to say that and to know that you don't have to try to find a word or phrase to make you who you are. You just have to read the Bible and find God. And God already created you as you are. He already created you as the smart, kind person that you are, the intelligent person that you are, the beautiful person that you are, fearfully and wonderfully made, the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. God created you exactly as He intended you to be. And sometimes we really get beside ourselves because, society's doing different things, or the world decides that they want to tell you that you could do this or you can't do this, or you belong here, you don't belong there, or whatever else it is. But any place that God wants you to be, you're going to be. Nobody can take that from you. God will open closed doors so fast, people don't even know what's happening. I've had in my life, and I feel like I could share this story, but I can't go into detail because of legal reasons. But and nothing like that. But I was in a situation a while ago, and I was at this place, and this person just really did not like me. I don't know why. And I know when people say that, people are like, "Oh, that person did something." They don't just not like you. But no, I would be like kind and nice, and I would just walk around. I would just smile all the time, and I would try to be helpful and stuff like that. And I'm not saying like maybe that's irritating to some people, because some people are like, "Why are you so happy?" but but I would do that, and this person would like try to put me on the spot. They would call me out in front of people. They would try to make me feel badly about being happy or something else. They would do like certain things to try to like sabotage the things that I was doing. And they were doing all of this. They were doing so much stuff to try to hurt me or try to like take me out of the position or whatever else. And it's like God was like, not my child, because the entire group of people just started coming to my defense. I didn't ask them to. I didn't, I was just okay with just saying, defending myself in the most respectful way, but not just going back and forth with a fool. And I don't say that like I'm trying to call that person a name. I'm saying it in a Proverbs kind of way. And so I just literally was just being Christ-like. I stayed focused. I just did all the things that I could do, like working, putting forth an effort. I did what God would have intended me to do in that position. And it's just like things start moving out the way. I just start succeeding in certain areas. The group just starts surrounding me. People just start helping me. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, if you don't know God, let me tell you, He will work miracles in your life. It doesn't even make any sense. People that don't like you will help you. And you'll be like, this person doesn't even like me. And I know God probably is like, it doesn't matter if they like you or not because I'm in control of this. God is in control of everything. There's not one person in any position that will ever be more powerful than God, ever. As long as I'm being obedient and I'm following God, I just want to be on God's good side. I just want to do what I need to do. And it's not like I wished anything on this person. It's not like I wanted anything badly to happen to this person at all. I just stay focused on me. I stay focused on God. I try to make sure that everything that I was doing was what God would have intended me to do. I try to make sure that I was doing whatever it is God wanted me to do. I needed to stay focused. I needed to continue to work hard. I needed to continue to put in that work, And God was just like, I got you. I literally just had to stay focused on Him, and everything else was given unto me. I know it sounds so cliche because it's biblical, but it's biblical, and that's why it works. I don't know why this one piece of hair keeps doing that. This is what happens when you do quick braids, I guess. But, but yeah, God always comes through for me. If I was by myself and I was the old version of me before I really started to be about that God life, then the situation would have been handled completely different. And I probably would have been in a worse situation. And it wouldn't have been helpful at all for my life. But me seeking God's face, me paying attention to what it is that God wants from me and doing the things that He wants for me to do allowed me to stay focused. It allowed me to just seek Him and not worry about anything else. Because what would it benefit me to worry about anything? It's not, especially when it's something that you can't change. I can't change someone else. All I can do is pray for them and pray that they get a closer relationship with God, that God touches their heart. When people are mean to me, and I know you're probably like, but you're a nice person, so how do you meet mean people? Test. Life will test you. And so whenever I'm getting tested, I always make sure that I pray to God first. I seek Him first. And no matter how cruel the person is, no matter what the person says, I take a moment before I respond to anything. Like, do I defend myself in the most respectful way? Of course. Am I going back and forth with someone? Absolutely not. I don't have that type of energy to waste because I got things to do in this life. And I just can't pour that type of energy into something that's negative. I need to have only positivity in my life, and I need to make sure that I'm seeking God because there's nothing that I could do that could be better than what God could do in the situation. And so so when people are mean or rude or something else, I just pray for them that they get a closer relationship with God. Like before I really rededicated my life to God, when someone would say something to me that was rude, it would sometimes ruin my whole day. I'd be like, this person, are you serious right now? But then as I rededicated my life to God, now it's more, I guess it's like maturity in my faith and stuff like that. But when someone's mean or rude or they do something that's cruel, I just say, I really take a moment. As soon as they're mean, it's like a knee jerk reaction now. Like instead of me like wanting to just, be a whatever, I just am like, okay, God, it does like make me feel a certain type of way, but I don't feel a certain type of way and then instantly jump into some sort of reaction. I might feel a certain type of way, but I'll say, God, I pray that you build their relationship with you, that they seek your face, that they start to grow closer to you. That whatever it is that's going on in their life, I pray that you help them through that because people that are happy don't usually treat you badly. Usually it's people that are miserable, that are under a lot of pressure, that don't like their life or are going through a lot of stress or problems in their life. People don't usually just tend to be mean, nasty, or rude just for no reason. Usually it's because there's something happening in their life that they can't handle on their own. So whenever I see someone act that way, I usually try to pray that God helps them through it, that whatever it is that they're going through gets them closer to God, and God softens their heart so that they can treat people better in the future. And so I know that sounds like so weird and crazy, but that's what I do when I meet people like that. And usually they end up being nicer to me out of nowhere. Like, I literally just am super calm, like, this is what it is, this is the priority, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'll stay focused on. Is this the way that it should go? Do you prefer something else? They either tell me yes or no. They have an idea, they have a plan. Strategically, we go through whatever it is that I need to do so that I can be on my game, so I can be doing what I need to be doing. I can't change anybody else. I can only do what I can do. And so as long as I'm doing the best that I can and I'm seeking God, that's it. I mean, I can't stress myself out over something that I can't change, you know? It would be different if I could just manipulate the whole situation and make everything work the way that I want it to work when I want it to work that way. That's not how life is. So I have to be realistic about the situation, and I have to be seeking God, because God is the one who controls everything. I can't I can't handle everything on my own. I used to think that I could do that. I used to think, oh no, I got everything. I don't have to ever ask for help. I don't ever need anybody else around me to step in or whatever else. But I know that's not real. God is real. So I have to seek God. I have to lean in. I have to allow the right people to be a part of my life, because if God is saying that they need to be there, then they're supposed to be there. Sorry, my shorts are like all bunchy, but it's good. It's fine. This is not one of the sets that I got. This just so happened to be like a set, but I got this for Christmas not last year, but the year before last. And I wear this like occasionally when I'm around the house, just because it's like nice and comfortable and it's warm and stuff like that. So, but that's besides the point. I don't want this video to be too long unless I feel something in my spirit. I'm not going to say too much more on that, but in conclusion, when it comes to your sight, seek God first above everything else. The kingdom and all of its righteousness and all will be given unto you. It doesn't matter if it's a person, place, or thing that's trying to take you down. It doesn't matter if all the things seem like they're working against you. God is always fighting the battle for you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No weapon that you see, that is seen or unseen. And if you are going through your life and you're like on the fence and you're like, I don't know if I want to try this religion thing, why not? You tried everything else and everything else failed. You've been trying to do it your way for so long and it has not been working out. You've been with the wrong people. You've been doing the wrong things. You've been wasting a lot of time. You've been looking back like, what have I been doing with my life? It's because when you don't seek God, sometimes that time just flies by and you're like, oh my gosh, like I really have to be intentional with my life. I got to do something different. The something different is probably God. You probably need to seek God and read your Bible. And it's not like I'm trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what works for me, because I really was all about, I'm just going to do what I want to do. Like, I was all about, oh no, I know more than all of these other people. I have to prove everybody else wrong. I don't have to prove everybody else nothing. Like, all I have to do is seek God and just be pleasing to God. Everybody else is going to think what they want to think regardless, anyways, because everybody has an opinion. I can't make everybody happy. That's impossible. The only thing I could do is just try to be better for myself, be better for God, and be a better version of myself so that I can give glory to the kingdom. That's the only thing I can do. So everybody else's opinion, what everybody else wants me to do or be doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't allow the world, other people to change me into something that God never created me to be. I just can't. And so in your life, I hope that you do find God, or that your relationship with God grows stronger. And like my pastor always says, that his goal is to strengthen that are saved and to reach the unsaved. And so I hope that you get your vision, that you can really see all that God has for you, so that you don't have to live your life as if you were blind. And let me just say this as a disclaimer. I am not saying anything's wrong with someone that, doesn't have their sight or anything like that. This is just an analogy for people who are not able to see their life the way that God intended it, because they have blinders on, because they're looking at it through blurred vision. They're looking at it through a sense of what the world wants or society or what other people are telling them they should be instead of what God intended for their lives to be from the beginning. So my so what I mean is once you find God, that is the only thing that makes your vision clear.